Okay, it's your friendly neighborhood Messianic Jew. Once again, I know that for some people, they may say, some people, even in the body of Messiah, will say, we've heard this already. Why do we have to hear this again? Well, that would be like saying, oh, I've heard the gospel. Why do I have to hear it again? Because it's all the gospel. Old and new covenant, Jew and Gentile together in one tree of Israel. So important, for all of you to understand. It is imperative. It is part of his plan. So I'm going to talk about the fall feasts today. I was not able to be here last week. It was Rosh Hashanah, which is actually not the true name of the holiday. It's called Yom Torah, which means head of the year. It does not mean New Year, but you'll figure that out in a minute. So the three fall feasts are Yom Torah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. And they all have prophetic meaning, just as all the spring holidays have prophetic meaning. So I'm just going to read. The Lord commands Israel to commemorate 7, which represents him, holy festivals throughout the year. There are 2 reasons he commands this. The first is to remember the natural and historical events of these days, which reminds us of his sovereignty and his faithfulness to the Jewish people and everyone else that puts their faith in him. The second is hope that we will see the spiritual and prophetic foreshadow of his incredible plan of redemption for us through the prophesied Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. The first 4 feasts are Passover, the Feast of First Fruits, the week-long Feast of Unleavened Bread, and then the Feast of Shavuot. These feasts symbolize Messiah's first coming, his death, resurrection, ascension into heaven, and finally, the Holy Spirit coming to fill all those who believe with himself and write the words of the law on our hearts. The 3 fall feasts symbolize Messiah's second coming. You know, we were singing these songs about and praising him today about what he did the first time he came. And I am so blessed, thank God. Without it, we wouldn't be here. But now we are in the season of the fall feasts. Everyone keep that in the back of your mind. So the fall feasts symbolize Messiah's second coming, his return to earth as triumphant king to finally defeat Satan once for all. The judgment of all mankind when the books of life are opened, and then finally, the marriage supper of the Messiah to his bride in heaven. So there's Yom Torah, the announcement of the king coming, final defeat, the judgment of all mankind when the books of life and death are opened, and that is Yom Kippur, which is coming on Wednesday, and then Sukkot, which represents, Hebraically, it represents the temporary dwellings that the Jews had to be in the wilderness. But we're not going to be in the wilderness anymore. The true Sukkot will be our permanent dwelling with him in heaven. So just as a side note, as I said, Yom Torah, which in English means head of the year, was readapted during Israel's captivity in Babylon to be called the New Year because it coincided with the Babylonian calendar, but it is not truly the Hebrew New Year. The first day of Nisan, which is the 7th month of our year, is the month that Passover falls, and it is the true biblical new year. Yom Teruah represents the announcement of the king's entrance. As I said, Messiah's second coming as king. Traditionally, Jews celebrate Yom Kippur as a solemn time to think about one's mistakes and pray that their sins for the past year will be forgiven. It's kind of hard to do technically because if you're going to be doing this as a Jew, there's no temple to make a sacrifice in anymore. They leave that out, the rabbis. So during this time, brothers and sisters, I implore you to pray for the Jewish people, which are your brothers and sisters as well. Don't ever forget that. You're part of the tree of Israel, not the other way around. Yes, you're grafted in. So please pray for all of Israel to be saved. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and pray that the Jews begin to have their spiritual eyes opened, which they are in the last 40 years, to start to see who Messiah truly is and what these holidays truly represent, and be delivered from their sin once for all, so that we can all be one new man in him. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. I love you guys so much. Thank you.